Hello, welcome to Sterling Armory Sword Talk. This is episode 29 and a third, or something like that. If you're new to our channel, we are Sterling Armory, and we are a bunch of sword makers, but we also have a Sword Talk podcast, which is what this is. And the Sword Talk podcast is where we all get together and grab a drink and talk about all sorts of random sword topics. If you call our last one, we talked about a topic that's been kind of hot on the social media groups for everything sword related recently, and that is, the comparison of historical swords and their quality of build versus modern expectations. So we're going to kind of build on that and talk about how we do our stuff today. And we each do things a little bit different because we're all set up in our own shops across the U.S. So let's bring some guys on.
Oh.
Hey there. Is that music still too loud?
Turn it down a little bit. It's not bad.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay, so real quick, you guys want to do some intros?
Yeah.
Okay, you're up.
I'm Josh. Hi.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
You can find me on Facebook at Joshua Von Warbear or Instagram, Warbear_Armory.
Awesome.
Look at that. I'm Colton, Copperthorn Customs. You can find me Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. And then also you can find me on the Sterling Armory Facebook or Instagram. Or here.
Yeah. And I'm Chris from Albion Swords. So Chris from Sterling Armory. And yeah, you can find us on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. It's not that updated. I need to get on it. And I also just realized that our Sterling Armory, so our image folders are now visible, and our albums are visible on Facebook, and they weren't before for some reason. So Colton, remember you were posting some.
Yeah, I tried to put some albums out.
Yeah, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
They should be working now, so I have to update all that.
Cool.
So if you visit our Facebook page, that's probably our most active page. And that's where you can see lots of images of our pieces that we make. And also I have a bunch of images there in folders from museums around the world that I had a chance to go and visit. So those are fun reference pictures for those who like historical blades. What are we drinking tonight, guys? I am drinking using my fancy Sterling Armory Kick to the Nuts cup. And I am back to the Winter Jack tonight.
Nice.
So if you know Jack Daniels, they put out a Winter Jack every November, and I stock up for the whole year. So that is mine.
I am not drinking out of a mug because I still don't have one because someone named Colton did not give it to me. I am drinking my unofficially sponsored Red Bull and dining upon Uncrustables. Since I moved, I've been eating this every day. I've lost a ton of weight, but I also poo blood now. And
Is it blood or Red Bull?
It's cool. I look good in a shirt, and that's really all I care about. Painful wipes, whatever.
Oh my god!
And we know that it's probably a little harder to hear Josh because of an echo than normal, but he's still setting up, so we will get that fixed soon.
Bear with me.
Yeah.
Oh, nailed it.
Uncrustable.
You hear that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's how you open it.
So, I have coconut water. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I came home with a pretty good headache, so she was like, "Have a coconut water." I was like, "Okay."
Does that help with headache?
I love coconut.
Well, it's good hydration. I'm probably dehydrated, so.
True. Yeah, that's true. Good to know.
I don't
sounds
know.
Good. You can sneak some rum in there.
I mean, I could, but I probably won't.
Yeah. Well, so on today's episode, we have a couple of treats today. So one treat is
Uncrustables.
Yeah, Uncrustables. Josh Warbear is set up in his new shop, so hopefully we'll get a chance to see the shop a little bit and the new setup. And then Colton has some pieces that he's finished, and I do as well. And I believe Josh does as well. So we're going to talk about how we make things ourselves. We're going to actually show some stuff about and how we've done what we've done. What do we want to start with? Shop tour?
Let's see the shop.
Yeah, shop tour.
Let's give you a shop tour while the Wi-Fi is working in the garage.
That's a good call.
Yeah. So if it does cut out, we'll let you know.
So here's my shop.
Wait, hold on.
Enlarge him. Enhance.
Why is it not working?
Enhance.
Wrong screen. There we go.
All right, so this is my shop. It is a 2.5 car garage. This is a little project I'm working on in the corner.
Yeah, that's where I'll stay when I'm there.
That's a kiddie dungeon for the kids when they come over to play. I just lock them in there and don't worry about them. So there's that, and then there's the exit. And then over here, sorry about all the lights. I put lights in stations. Over there is my chop saw. There is my oscillating spindle sander. Behind the mannequin is my bandsaw. Over here is my mill. Represent Grizzly, hell yeah. And then here's my G1015 belt sander. And then over here is all my belts, my current knife projects, my clamps, and then my compressor and my tabletop, and then my leather working station, free floating table. So if you back up,
So much space.
Look how much space, guys. So much room for activities.
Awesome.
And that's it. Thank you for visiting Sterling Armory Cribs.
Awesome. So do you have any future tools you want to bring in that you haven't been able to do before?
I do, yeah. I think I'm going to get myself a lathe.
There we go.
Have to be first.
No, I didn't want the sword not cutting your head off.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up a lathe next, as well as a table saw.
You looking at that Grizzly lathe, that little tabletop one?
Probably so, yeah. Little 4x16, 4x24, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a table saw and probably bolt it to the end of this table at the table height, so I can use it as a backdrop.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we are too. And
I should mention that this creepy nonsense was here when I moved in. Like, that's kind of what sold me on renting the place. Is I was like, hey, rental homes, I noticed that there was a child dungeon in the garage, and they're like, yeah, we can talk to the guy about taking it out. And I was like, no, I want to keep it, and I'm going to add on to it. And they're like, oh God. And today I'm building. Today I added the bars and the door, and neighbors are walking by, and I'm just like building the door and putting it on, and they're like, hey neighbor, what you building? And I'm like, oh, here this. And they're like, oh yeah, I wish my husband would build our kid stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't have kids. And they're like, you what? And I was like, garage door closes slowly. It was good.
We might have lost Colton again.
Well, he's frozen.
We were having some technical difficulties on Colton's side earlier.
Colton's having some difficulty. Look at him go. Oh,
yeah.
God.
So hopefully he'll be able to jump back on. But yeah, so that looks pretty cool though. I'm excited for the shop. There he went. Yeah, he's
later, Colton. Peace out.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you sack of rats.
Yeah. So are you any chance you're looking at another grinder or any big
I've been thinking about it. I mean, the Grizzly 1015 does everything I need and want, but it would be nice to have one of those like KMGs or the TW90s. Something that I can switch 90 degrees and, switch out a flat platen and a small contact wheel. Welcome back, bud.
Hey, no, it's super weird. That time it said my mic disconnected. Like, that's really weird.
Yeah, all sorts
Weird
of
technical difficulties happening.
Yeah, no
First was
Yeah.
the camera, now it's the mic. So
Yeah.
Weird.
So yeah, I highly recommend getting a variable wheel size, contact
Yeah.
wheel size machine. I mean, it
I
makes
think that'll be the next one.
Yeah, lathes are also helpful as well.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, we can dive into some pieces now, I think. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today is, there's some misconceptions that we talked about in the last video where some folks think, things being done by a machine is a magic button for makers.
Right.
Or like say you have a mill or a lathe or CNC or anything like that. It's a magic button to make a piece. And we just wanted to reiterate, well, that's not really true. I mean, none of us have a CNC, but we all have machines that we use.
Yeah.
And those machines are tools that we have to use, and we're still doing everything technically by hand. So I guess as a good example, I guess I can start. You mind if I blow myself up here?
Yep.
So I have, and I showed this last time, but this is a piece in the works right now. And so let's start. So I guess we'll start with the blade. So this blade is ground on a machine, but it's me holding the blade. Same grinding machine we just saw in Josh's background. It's me holding the blade by hand without fixtures. And it started off as this is the same blade blank as that one there. So it starts off as a pretty large chunk. This is a 5/16 blade thickness. And then we have to work it down from there. Some people think that's a crazy way to do it. But I argue that I could probably grind out a blade faster than a CNC machine can make it. But it's still being done technically by a machine. Some people would say, well, you're not hand forging it, so you're cheating. And so I used to hand forge on my blades, so I can tell you that it takes just as much practice and skill to learn how to grind smoothly as it does to learn how to forge smoothly. So it's a different way to do it. Forging is, I think it just takes a lot more energy, not just from a personal point of view, but having to heat the blade up and cool it, heat it, cool it, heat it, cool it. It's a lot more to the process versus just grinding a piece. I personally can go faster grinding now because I practice this more than I practice forging. So, and it's more consistent for me because me as an artist, I'm more consistent on the grinder than I am with the hammer. But there's plenty of smiths with a hammer who can be just as fast and consistent with the forge. So yeah, it's just, I guess the main point is different tools still require, a hand touch. So I think you guys both did. Let me go back to all of this. How did I do that? There we go. I think you guys do blades the same way I do, right? Because I think you guys mostly, I guess I could say, learn from me, if that's the right thing to say. But
yeah,
different generations. I learned from you. And Colton's been doing it mostly his whole life anyway.
Yeah.
And then I taught him a couple things here and there.
And so yeah, it may not be fair to say that you learned from me, but maybe learn how to do it on sword blades.
I would say, I knew how to grind metal, and I have created sword blades, but they were not, they weren't as smooth or properly proportioned, and so all the fine tuning and I had the basics of grind metal, but I have learned the actual way of forming a sword out of a piece of metal. So I would say yes. I'm what would that be? I'm your grandchild in sword making. What is is that weird?
Sounded weird.
I mean, you said it in 3 generations, so I just put it into words. So
Dad, take me to the zoo. I want to see the monkeys.
But so all of us, even though we're using different grinding machines, we're still doing it by hand. And we do have a How It's Made series on our channel that you can go see right now. And it's, I think, 22 episodes on how I actually go through the process. But that's me, my personal process. We all do things a little differently. I think blade grinding, though, is something that we all do very similar.
I think so.
And then, so the guard's another thing. So the guard on this blade, so we can go piece by piece on this one, which is nice. I can even take that off. So the guard starts off as this particular one started off as a giant rectangular bar of 303. And then, again, it's hand ground in every single dimension. So there's not a single dimension on this that's left as this is the bar it came from. So giant chunk 303, milled the guard slot, ground it in this direction first, but it was ground straight, and then ground it in this direction second, and then went in and did some bends on the guard to the what the customer wanted, and so it's all technically done by hand, but I think 4 different machines were used on that. So again, it's being done by machine, but also being guided by hand. So I think you guys do guards mostly the same. We just have different tools for that, right? So we all have slightly different mills. Actually, Colton, do you have a mill now?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You have that big one. I forgot about that. Colton probably has the nicest tools of all of us here.
I don't know if my grinder would be considered the nicest.
Oh,
but yeah, I've got the lathe. I've got a big mill.
Yeah, the lathe.
I've got the same saw as Josh. Similar setup, just slight variables in equipment.
Yeah, and then going to the pommel. So the pommel is probably the most tool intensive, I think. So this actually wasn't done on a lathe, but it starts off as just a random disc, and then I have all this is ground. So basically, we mill a taper slot for the tang that comes out on the end, and then it's a wider hole up front. So you have to mill a taper slot, and then I mill out for the grip, which I think I'm the only one of the 3 of us that does that. But
I've done a couple of them. That last blue and copper one I did that on.
Yeah. Good. So I personally like doing that because it takes some weight out of the pommel. And then I went and milled the faces for the coin inset there, but then all the shaping of the, if I can get it, there we go. The shaping of the bevels is all done on a grinder. So
and bevels in multiple directions because you're tapering towards the back as well as beveling around, correct?
Yeah, not on this particular one.
Not that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this one needed to keep some more weight in it, so
gotcha.
It's almost parallel, not quite.
So potentially grinding in multiple directions.
Yeah, usually we taper it down towards the tip, but on these Clooney type 18s, their pommels tend to stay pretty parallel. But that's not a flat. I don't know if you can see. That's not a flat grind either.
Yeah, I could tell.
It's a hollow ground grind. So yeah, it's all done by hand. And basically, I'm sitting on the grinder, spinning it, as the wheels coming in. So
very carefully.
I have to do it like this because my grinder's set up in a weird angle. So I'm like, but yeah, it's all done by hand. And so I think Colton would be more efficient making this because you can do it on the lathe first and then clean it up second, right?
Mm.
It's debatably faster. I'm honestly not sure if it is. For some things, definitely.
Yeah.
But I like kind of going back to the CNC versus you grinding a blade in speed.
Right. You've
done it enough that you could probably beat me if you just went at it on the grinder. I don't know, but
yeah. How long does it take? So if you were to do a pommel like that, I guess how long do you think it would take? I'm not sure. I used to have a lathe a long time ago, and I broke it, so I haven't had one since. And I just hand grind everything now.
I think it would depend on if I'm trying to do the tapered towards the back or not. That adds a lot of time for me to set it up at an angle in the mill or the lathe, and then very slowly take it down because I'm only hitting the one side, so I've got to ease it in, and then I can get in there and cut it out. So that takes a lot longer. If I'm just gonna go in straight and bevel it like that, I don't know.
So that took me about 30 minutes total, I think.
Like that's kind of where I wanted to say I'd be at. Some of my more complicated ones where like I'll leave the risers on it so I can carve the little like rope design around it and stuff. That takes way longer. That's in the like, I don't know, somewhere in the probably hour and a half range if I'm gonna like leave little risers and bevel those around and whatnot. Just fine detail work takes forever.
Yep.
So yeah, half an hour if I'm gonna throw it on there, but then I still have to go clean it up. So it's like kind of sixes. I really like running a lathe. Like it's very relaxing to me. So I'm all about it. But I don't know if it's faster.
Yeah. So Josh, you do yours similar to mine, correct? Yeah. You mill it a little differently than I do.
Yeah. Mill them out. I don't do the recesses for the grip though.
Right. And you have a step in your mill, right? Because your tang steps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So mine's tapered a little different. Yeah.
I'll do a circle and then go straight down with one bit and then kind of measure the angle and then put it in the vise with a little T with a little L square so I can get the angle right and then run it down the side and then again and then do it again and then that side so I got my angle right and then it was kind of like yeah. It used to be kind of like a painstaking process, but I've got it dialed in right now in my head enough to where I can usually sync it. Like if I make a mark on the tang, go, that's how far I want it down, which is usually halfway through the tang. I usually nail it most of the, like 99% of the time, first try and not have to clean up anything. Just tap, tap, tap. Good seated. Awesome.
First try.
Yeah. First try.
Yeah. Do you want to show off a blade that you have there?
Say what?
You want to show off a blade that you have there and kind of go through?
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Hold on. There we go. That's fancy.
Type, it's a Zyphos. Here, look at that. Super sexy. So I can't take all the credit on this one because Colton did do the grinding on the blade. And since I didn't have a lathe, he lathed out my design for me. So I made it to where it has a tiny, like 4-inch grip here. And then the rest of it just seats down on there. It feels really nice. It's about 2.3 pounds altogether. And yeah, man.
It's like super heavy. Is that the one that Phil sharpened? Oh, I guess not.
No.
Yeah, that's the one you're keeping, right?
Yeah, that's what I really like. And you show off that fancy grips.
But you did the milling. So on the inside of that pommel, did you mill that, or did you do it on the blade?
Yeah,
I did that. So what I do is I have basically it's a round bar that's this diameter all the way. I set it down, I measure my tang out, I go through the entire thing, and then do a step. And then once I know it fits where I want it to fit, I pass it off to Colton, and Colton hits it with the lathe and gives me that really nice dive there, that coffin nail.
You know, that pommel shape, by the way, would be very good for like a cat's bulger design, like the German arming sword with a cross. Or
totally, that'd be cool.
Shaped cross, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm not a fan of cat's bulgers. I know I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose my one follower. That's like,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
She just like rips his Warbear face patch off of his jacket. It's just me.
Wow, that was a very dedicated follower.
I haven't. So I made one a long time ago, and I'm kind of. There's been some cool designs, historical ones that have been found lately, or I don't know if they're recent finds, but they're ones that I've seen recently. And I'm kind of itching to make one again. But we'll see. And then, so for your guards, Josh, I think you do it the same way I do, except we talked about last time. I'm trying to remember what we said last time. Do you still mill the shoulder area, or do you grind that now?
Yeah. I mill the shoulder. I go down, so I mill out the recess for the tang, and then I go down like 2.5 mils and make a ditch for the shoulders here.
Yeah.
So they fit down.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's super tight.
See how they've carved a ditch there for it to sit in?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah. And I also, since the blades are like 90-degree angles for the tang, I go in and then lay my mill bit on top and then measure how far it needs to go down, and then I dial my mill down while I drift it a little bit to cut down where the shoulder rounds go into.
Yeah. So you're bringing up some great points here. So although we all use mills, it's those mills to us, they're not CNCs. They're like etch-a-sketches. Right? So
exactly what I was about to say.
So we have to we're there looking like mad scientists controlling knobs.
It's a 3-axis etch-a-sketch, so it's just like
yeah, exactly.
No,
I
think that's
blade, right?
I think same thing. Well, I mean, you said lathe. What was my train of thought there? Totally lost it. No. Yeah, no, you're saying it's like we're machining them, but to me that's like almost a weird term for it, because we're not machines. Like, we're using equipment, so it's like no, we are doing everything by hand. Like, I don't know. It's a weird term that I think a lot of people have very different definitions for.
Yeah, so I think it's a common misconception, right? That when you say machining, people I think automatically think CNCing.
Yeah.
And
I think breaking that down even further, it's when someone says it's machined, it takes less glory that goes to the artist and more to the machine. Where when you say that, it's like the machine did all the work and you didn't really do anything. You just hit a button.
Yeah,
that's not really
not the case. Like, if we're individual pieces. Like, we're not set up on jigs on anything. So we're putting the piece in individually, measuring, flattening everything by hand into the vices, and then we have to dive in and do every piece by hand that is measured for each blade. Like, it's interchangeable. We're not making 10 of one thing and putting them all together. It's like we make a blade, we measure the blade, we mark everything out on the cross guard, we make the cross guard, we put that cross guard on that blade. Like, it's very individual.
Yeah, that's another great point, is we're not a production house, right? So everything we make, like this piece here, is one of a kind. And the guard was one of a kind, meant for this blade. Pommel was one of a kind, meant for this tang. So everything's one of a kind. So it's another great point that I keep forgetting to bring up. And that's another reason why, when we say that, when we hear things about machining, and by the way, it's not just us. Even some companies that are running production line swords, like Arms and Armor or Albion, they still have to hand fit all their, so that sometimes they cast or do whatever for their guards and pommels, but they still have to hand fit those on each of their tangs. So they're a little bit more mass produced in that they have a casting that they're using over and over again, but still has to be cleaned up by hand, still has to be fit to the tang by hand, etc. So, where we are a little different is that, the whole piece is individually made by itself, not a part of a production line, or it's not out of a mold or a cast. But it just makes us a little different. So that's, I think us as artists, I think we would go crazy if we were doing production line stuff. So
I totally would. I've tried to grind like 2 or 3 blades at a time while I'm set up, and I'm like halfway through the second one, I'm like, I'm ready to go make a guard. Like, I'm moving on. I basically do one thing at a time. I can focus on it, get it done, move on to the next one. I'm also gonna. Oh,
speaking of which, do you have a blade that you want to show off?
I do.
Let me pop you up here.
Oh yeah, wait for the big screen.
There we go.
Da 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 da. All right. So
I don't think I've seen that one.
Da da da.
Have I seen it?
I sent you the video of it a few days ago.
With that grip on it?
What?
With that grip on it?
Yeah.
Man, I don't remember that. That looks really sexy. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Looks good.
So it's a 15. So we're coming in at the same 5/16. type thickness. I left it pretty robust out there at the tip. I think I only go down to like 0.18 or something.
It's pretty common on 15s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't go. I don't know. I'm very happy with it. I think we're somewhere right around 2 pounds 14 ounces.
Oh wow. Yeah. What's the length on that one?
I wrote it down here. It's
Okay.
It's 33.5-inch blade with
Okay.
a 42.5-inch overall. 2 pounds 14 ounces, and then balance point is about 3 1/4, 3.5.
Nice.
So it feels pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good grip for a true bastard piece, right? I mean,
yeah, nice little, like you could barely get your second hand on there, but you definitely can. So it's like,
yeah. That looks nice.
So here's an example of the lathe and like what I'm kind of doing with it. So similar to what Josh just described, that's a round bar, and I set up, milled it out, got it all to fit, and then I did this dive with the lathe, and then I rounded that over.
Nice.
But then I pull it out because it's very difficult to flip the piece around and do the back side. So this side is all hand done on the grinder.
Okay.
And
so I would have to do that in 2 pieces, by the way, because I'd have to do it all on the grinder. So that little collar on the grip side would have to be a separate piece.
Which I considered doing separate pieces. I went back and forth a lot if I wanted to do this, and one of these in bronze. But I decided to go for a full steel on it.
Yeah, I like that personally. Yeah.
I went back and forth a lot. So, the kind of the same deal up here. So this part I milled out to fit over that, and it's a nice pressed on fit. Yeah. But everything past that point, it's not focusing very well.
Yeah, it's focusing on your face. You might have to block your face for it to focus.
Block the face. Well, it's too shiny. Nothing ever focuses on shiny. Anyways, everything past that point is done by hand with either a hand grinder, a Dremel, or the belt grinder. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. Sweet. Yeah, there it is.
Awesome. Wow. So are you going to be posting that one for sale, or is that one already sold?
I have started on the matching steel sword, because this is the Witcher silver sword. Oh. I've started on a matching steel sword to go with it. I'll probably do scabbards for the set.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to be a full set, and it's going to be hot.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty sweet. I like that, man. I wonder if you're going to get requests to buy that before you're even done the steel.
I have had like 2 or 3 people ask about it on TikTok so far.
Yeah.
And I've just been like, keep an eye on it. I'm making a matching set, so I'll let you know.
So you're going to do a full belt set for him too? Or just
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've made it that far yet. Scabbards, swords, maybe? We'll see.
Scabbards is a whole nother topic, right? Because those are also all hand done by us.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I really like making them, but they take so long.
Like, yeah. So I don't know if you guys follow any of the so Zach and Sonny over at Valiant. They post on Facebook sometimes. But I think it was Zach had a post recently. Actually, I don't even know how recent it is now that I think about it, but he had like 15 or 16 scabbards all lined up that he just leathered. And he's like, yeah, I just got done with leather. And it's the same scabbard 15 times. And I was like, I couldn't do that.
That'd drive me crazy.
Yeah, it would drive me crazy. So I don't know.
I'd rather stay mildly poor. Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Next 3 years of swords I make are not going to be mine. They're all going to be someone else's already. Like, yeah. I'm not like knocking it all. If you can do it, that's friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah. It's just not our way. Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool to see the differences though, right? So
you're
Yeah.
I mean, we've all said it before. Like, essentially, everything we make is like what we want. Like, we basically make it for us, and then we sell it. So it's like,
that's why we don't get commissions now, right? But occasionally, so this was a commission, and I told him I actually turned it down at first, and he's like, "Well, here's what I want," and I was like, "Oh well, that's something I want to make anyway." So that's why I took it.
nice.
And I still feel bad though; it's taken a while to get it to him, and I don't like having people wait like that. But it's that one and one other sword that I don't want to show yet till it's fully done. But that one's almost done as well. That one's been waiting even longer, but it's a tough one to get done. So yeah, that's us in our making stuff. We
I have one more piece.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I do. It's not a sword.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. Hold on, wait.
Yeah. So occasionally,
Nice.
I have to break out of the sword realm and just make something else. So this I kind of just made for myself. I'm a sucker for Warhammers. Here it is. That's
pretty sweet.
Right.
That was, I'm trying to remember. Is it 303 or 304?
This is 303. Yeah.
303. That's pretty awesome. Actually, that's not a bad material for a Warhammer if you think about it.
Nope.
A lot of Warhammers were iron or mild steel, so
yeah.
a bit stronger than that.
Yeah, so it's an ashwood handle, leather wrap, 303, solid chunk. That was a 2-inch round bar, which if we want to go back into our cost of material, I think that piece right there cost me like $50.
I was going to say $80.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I buy them in 144-inch sections, so it's a little cheaper per inch, but it's still, like just the material alone for that, minus the however many hours it was $50 piece of steel. So it's like, oh god,
that's pretty awesome. So is that for sale at the moment, or are you keeping that one?
It's mine.
Keeping that. You gonna do any more? Because I think those would be pretty hot items, especially at run fairs and stuff.
I've already told them I kind of want one.
Yeah, no, I kind of do too.
Yeah,
I want one made in bronze, but we also just was like, look, guys, we don't do commissions. We make whatever we want to make.
It's true. But yeah, you could totally make that. You could do it.
I could.
Yeah.
But
why are you asking me to make you something? I've seen your shit.
The same reason I asked someone to make a sandwich for me. It tastes better.
Fair enough.
Ooh, the love that prepared this delicious bread, meat,
I was about to quote Vladislav on sandwiches, but I decided not to.
Oh, yeah. I know the quote.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, like, so I think we also mentioned this last time as well. Like, I think I still don't have a piece from either of you guys yet, but I need one because I collect pieces from my favorite artists. So
I'll sell you one.
Yeah. So I think it'd be fun to have a piece from each of you guys in the collection there. So
vice versa, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and Colton, I know you weren't on last time, but yeah, I think I got the piece from that one. From I'm gonna say Art of Sword Making because I never pronounce his name right. So, and I think that's kind of complete for my collection now. I am in talks with shoot, I'm blanking on his name right now. I can't think of the other maker right now. It is late here. It's almost it's 10 o'clock at night for me, so I am a little tired. But there's one more Smith that I'm for some reason blanking on his name right now. But I'm talking with him about possibly getting a Type 18 from him in the future because he's been wanting to make some. So that would be probably the last one for my collection because I have Angus Trim, Albion, Arms and Armor, Valiant, Art of Sword Making, Deltin, and a couple others that I can't think of right now as I look at them. But I think I have a piece from each of my favorite makers at the moment. Baltimore Knife and Sword. Oh, I forgot that. That was one of my first.
Yeah.
yeah, it's got a good collection going now. I actually have to get them in a case, so which hopefully will change my background in the future, but we'll see.
Can't get rid of the Legos.
No, so I think the Legos might move to off camera over here, and then all the sword stuff will be behind me, but we'll see.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's anything else you guys wanted to cover today in terms of, I guess in terms of the main topic first. I'm trying to think if I missed anything there. I'm sure I have. But I will say, we do have our other series on our YouTube page. So if you want to go in and see how we do the making that we've just been talking about, at least on my side, you can see each of the processes from grinding and milling and distal tapering and everything we did, making the pommels, guards, all that. And the piece that I did on that series is a bit more complicated. So there's a lot more work done there. And hopefully at some point we might have these guys do a similar video series, or at least maybe a little shorter version of that, because that one took way too long. Yeah, take a look at that if you like, that sort of thing. And other than that, I don't really have anything else in terms of making at the moment.
I don't think I do. Yeah.
Oh, I will say, so adding coins and pommel markers to either our pommels or some markers, little things for our guards, and sometimes scabbards. A lot of times we'll get coins from coin makers. But I do want to start playing with making my own coins pretty soon. I think that would be fun.
That'd be very cool.
That'd be rad.
Especially with there's some laser cutting stuff that can really make some cool designs. And then you go in and clean it up and make a little coin out of it. And so
I've also I kind of want to make one of the striking hammers for coins, like the big 4-foot striking hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Actually try it.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be fun, right? I could totally. I would enjoy that.
It can't be that hard.
Carry that sucker to the Renaissance Fair and have people check it out while we're doing it.
Yeah, I think
that's a good idea.
The hardest thing to do would be to find the massive anvils for both sides. At least 15 to 20 pounds for each, if not more.
Is there like a jet flying over you, Josh? Okay.
Okay, I was wondering what that was.
It's like, what on earth is it?
Yeah. If it turns to static.
That's your stomach? Is that your Red Bull kicking in?
That's the Red Bull and Uncrustables fighting each other. Oh, it's delicious.
Alrighty, so also our next event's coming up will be, as far as we know, Combat Con, unless we do the other show up in Washington, or unless we are able to do Evermore again. I know, Colton, you with your other new job, that might be a little tough, but
it could be. I'm hoping that it'll still work out. I'm still like planning on it until otherwise stated.
Okay.
I don't know.
Keep me in the loop about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind flying out there to be out there for at least a weekend or so.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
If you do that, we plan it, then I can drive up or fly up for the weekend with some gear as well, and then we can just kind of goof off over the weekend.
Yeah, so so right now I have a list of blades I'm doing for Combat Con after these customs, but then I can add some pieces for stage, because I think the stage ones sell better at Evermore, right?
Yeah, well,
Probably.
stage and sharps. People love stage, but they also love sharps as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So it's kind of an even split.
If you have a scabbard with the sharp, it sells a lot better.
right.
Super fast. Yep.
So
Well, that's the thing I'm trying to do is I can't say 100%, but I'm going to try to get a scabbard for most of my sharp blades, especially the ones going to the Combat Con and stuff. But fingers crossed, that's a lot more time. So we shall see. Be nice, but we'll see. I think if anything, it might just be the basic wood core, and that's it.
yeah.
We'll see. Alrighty. Well, thanks guys for joining. I think we can probably call it there.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Alrighty. Well, thanks, Josh, for the site tour. Colton, if you get a chance, I know you probably can you stream from your shop, or do you not have web out there?
I mean, I do. It's probably not fantastic, but
Okay. It would be cool for because your machines are far different than ours, so it'd be cool to see those.
Yeah.
My shop is a horrible mess, so you guys can see that on the How It's Made videos.
It's never not been a mess. Like the whole time I've known you, it's always looked the same, but in a bigger spot.
Right. You know that means
it's almost impressively orchestrated. Like you moved from a smaller shop into your bigger garage and was like, okay, it has to be just as messy. Everything on top of everything.
Yeah, you're onto my plan, man.
Yeah, man. You
know what that means for the next one? Twice the size.
Twice the size, a bigger mess.
Yep, I need a 4-car garage next time.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks guys for joining. And we'll do some quick outros real quick. Again, I'm Chris from Sterling Armory, and you can find me and everyone else here on the Sterling Armory Facebook page. And please go and check out the photo albums will be updated, so you can see a lot of examples of our work from all three of us. And hopefully we'll be able to get those better organized, because I know right now when you go to the site, it's a little difficult to see pieces right away. Also Instagram, and if you're here, then you've already found us on YouTube. So enjoy the YouTube channel, and if you want us to cover any other topics on Sword Talk, let us know. So over to that guy.
I'm Josh Warbear, and you can find me on Instagram at Warbear_Armory, or you can find me on Facebook at Joshua Von Warbear. Or you can email me, or you can tag me in whatever comments you want to discuss or talk about. Don't be shy. I love a good conversation.
Okay. I'm Colton. You can find me at Copperthorn Customs, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then also Sterling Armory Facebook and here. And I feel like by episode 29, you guys probably know who we are and where to find us.
Yep, but always need people, right? So
yeah, are they? I guess if they're starting on episode 29, but
you never know.
You never know. Here we are.
Yep. And
go watch the rest of them if you haven't.
Right. Yeah. And then all the links for all of that will be below in the YouTube channel. So make sure to check all that out. And so we'll go ahead and hop off here. But thanks for joining. Josh, what are you doing?
I just started.
He's working.
I guess
he's got shit to do.
Back to work. All righty. Well, thanks, guys. And we will catch you next time.
Stay sharp.
Stay sharp.
Arms and armor.
I am alone.